Okay, everyone. Welcome to Success Circle. I'm going to meet you all right now. Josie, hold on. Okay, yes. Okay, we're rolling.
Welcome,
Josie
everyone.
and Aisha here. We are so excited
to
be with you here today. And now hold on, let me. Oh shoot. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to do that. Okay, we'll do that.
There you go.
Okay. First of all, we want to say, wow, we have 185 people in our program.
In this program.
I mean, Josie and I don't know, we had no idea. In fact, Larry just told us yesterday that the program maxes out with our Google Doc at 190. So we are officially closed. We really can't let anybody else in. We will do this again in the fall. So big thumbs up and amazing job, everyone. I just really want to acknowledge your efforts and the excitement that
all
this
of you
is
guys.
generating.
It's because of all of you, all the leaders inviting and getting your teams, your people here and into the program. So it's a group effort. So congratulations, everyone.
So we are just blown away and we're ready for it. We're so excited. And we want to say, please, we have a lot of information to share. So I know sometimes on these calls it's easy to space out and get on Facebook and look at your phone, but there's a lot of information. So please, please, please pay attention so you're not confused and asking a bunch of questions later, because we want you to have absolute clarity and confidence. So when you're guiding your team and you have people coming to you with questions, you feel like you know what's going on, okay? So please give us 100% of your attention today.
All righty. So Aisha wanted to include this quote, and I'm going to read it. Leadership is lifting a person's vision to higher spirits, the raising of a person's performance to a higher standard, and the building of a personality beyond its normal limitations. And that is what we have done here today, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Yeah, we just wanted to start the program off with a tip and a thank you and a celebration for everyone's leadership.
Yeah, we really want to acknowledge you and congratulate you for all that you're doing to inspire, uplift, and contribute to the success of all. So again, we love you guys, and we're really blown away. Okay, so we just want to cover this again. The objective of this program is to support our newest builders to reach the rank of executive or elite in 6 weeks. So when we start teaching the program and getting into the program, we're really going to be addressing the newer builders. That's why we want to have some we're going to have some other calls with just the leaders, but we want you to know that this program is really designed to build momentum, to teach skill sets, to teach how to think about your business, and also to engage your relationship with them. But then with that, it is to support you, our builders, in reaching silver, stabilizing silver, moving to gold, moving to platinum, moving to diamond. Whatever your goals are, we're hoping that this is going to give you a boost to move to that next level. We're also going to teach some goal setting, but in a very strategic way, in a way to implement that. Much more than just, I want to be elite, but we're going to lay out a roadmap and a system and a structure on how to make that happen. We also are really hoping that this program will help you strengthen the relationships with your team members. So we are asking you to be a very active participant in regards to growing your relationships, finding out who your builders are. You might find out who your builders are not, and that can also be useful information. This also gives all of us collectively a chance to cultivate our team culture, and then also the team culture that you have individually within your own teams. And ultimately, we want this program to create massive success for all of us. We want nothing more than all of you to be abundant and prosperous and have an amazing business. And most of all, we want to have fun while we're doing it.
Yes. Okay. So, you're going to do this.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So, okay. So we're going to just kind of go over some logistics. In a moment, we're going to go over the dates. In the Facebook page and the files section, I actually have listed all the dates of the program. We have a couple dates that are still to be announced, but we have the leaders calls posted on there. On the Facebook page, we also have an application for the silvers and above to fill out, or anybody that is, I know we have a couple premieres in the program, or a couple people that are acting a little bit more as a silver because they have a pretty established business. So you can also opt into the leaders track. The reason why we're doing this is because we're going to have 2 grand prize winners. The winner for the leader, we don't want the leaders competing against the builders. And so we have a different Google form for you to fill out, and it's going to help us separate you into 2 groups. So it's going to really help us logistically if you fill out that form, so then we can keep track of all the tracking, and I'll point out a little bit more about that in a moment.
Yeah, both of these things that I should just mention about the adding your people and the silver, the leader application form, we're actually going to show you exactly where to go in the Facebook
so we'll do that in a moment. We're also, the majority of this call is going to be spent on some new docs that we have created that are going to support you with your mentorship and setting up accountability. So we're going to kind of go through this logistic stuff, and then the bulk of the information is going to be about some new docs we've created. We're also going to share with you some ideas about how to do your Taproot mentoring, because if you have a lot of people on your team, it doesn't mean that we want you on 20 calls over the week. We absolutely don't want that to happen. We want you to be efficient. We want you to be training your leaders. And so we want to talk to you about how to set up some Taproot mentoring if you've not been doing this, and how that can really give you much more strategic time blocking and how to work that way. And then we're also going to talk to you about the Builders Worksheet, and this is what we're going to use for our roadmap to set up the goals. Okay, so first of all, for all of you that are still, kind of navigating around, if you go to our essentialwellness.life Facebook, we have the application for you silvers. Yeah, sorry. We have the application for the silvers and above in 2 places. So it's on our website, and you can go to the Success Circle link here that's on the website. And if you click on that and go to the application, you'll see the silvers and above form. So you can either go there and fill out that form, or we also have it on the Facebook page. Please go and fill this out by today. If you haven't done it already, ideally do it right after the call. It will just take you a couple moments, but this is really important that we get you into the program. Now, the other thing that we want to have you do, all of our team members that you've invited, if they filled out an application, I forwarded it to you. So if you think somebody was going to apply and they didn't, and you didn't get an application form, they may not have applied. If you really think that they did and you didn't receive an application form, send me an email and I will look in the file to see. But what I want you to do is, if you look right here where that big purple arrow is, it says add members.
So Aisha's now talking about being on the Essential Wellness Success Circle Facebook page.
Yes, thank you, Joe.
Okay, the big purple arrow on the Facebook page.
Okay. So, and again, this is, I know some of you are really comfortable with Facebook, so you're probably thinking, why is she going through this? This is obvious and easy. But we do have some people in our group that are still navigating Facebook. So we just wanted to eliminate any confusion and make things really crystal clear here. So everybody that is within your organization that's joining this program, we would like you to go and enter their name and add member. Now, we will go in and approve that later today. So you're not going to see them pop up immediately in the group. but we have 185 people to get in this Facebook page. And what happens is random people start asking to join. And so it's a lot easier for us actually if you add them, because then I know if Diane has added 5 people to the group, that those 5 people should be in. Anyone that asks to join, I will go and confirm, but we just weren't expecting these kind of numbers. So it'll be really helpful if you guys can kind of give us a hand here and add your people in. Once we have everyone in the group, I would also like you to do a double check. You know, you could do this tomorrow or on Wednesday. And if you go into where it says members, where you see all those little boxes on the right-hand side of the faces, and you click on where it says members, you can search people's names to make sure they've made it into the group. So I just want to make sure, is that clear? Everyone can agree to do that and just be responsible for getting your people in the group. Now there's that orange arrow where it says files. Under the files section is where we have all of the docs and important information for the group. So again, after this call, there's some things that we want you to download. There's actually a short webinar there that we're going to have you watch, etc. So that's where you're going to find everything. Okay. Anything else?
Can you just quickly, let's go back over this one more time for people. So besides asking you guys to go in with all of your mentees, the people that you're working with, that you invited to the program, and making sure that they get onto our Facebook Success Circle page, we are asking all of you, the leaders, to go to our website, which is www.essentialwellness.life. And under Success Circle, where this purple arrow is, there's the drop down for the application form. And first is the first application form that was for all of the people you invited. Underneath that is a second application form now for silvers and above. That's what we want, just the leaders, you guys, or premiers who are acting like silvers, close to silver, who are going to be in the leader group. That's how you're going to opt into this second leader group. And we have 2 separate files for you guys for adding up points. So hopefully that's just make it clear.
And then what's going to happen is by every Sunday night at midnight, there is going to be a Google form that's going to be sent to you every Sunday morning through Infusionsoft. We love Infusionsoft. It's going to send to you, and by Sunday night, you and your builders will need to be responsible for going in and filling out that tracker. If it is not filled out, there will be no exceptions. It does not count and you lose your points. We just have too many people to keep track of. I mean, obviously if there's a huge emergency, but you'll have all weekend to fill that out. And so please stress to your builders that they need to be responsible for this. So we will send you the email. We're trying to make this as easy as possible. I see Diane's laughing over there. And we will also have the link on this page. So we'll have it in 2 different places that they can then go and fill out their Google Tracker. Okay. So moving on here. Okay, the program dates.
Okay, so they will be Zoom calls, which you can access through the computer, which we advise for everyone because they're mostly going to be webinars. We're going to be going over documents. But if people can only access by phone, there's also a phone number. These will be posted onto our Facebook page. Did you just say this? I don't know. And they will be in the section that you just saw on the website in the Success Circle. I'm going to go back to just show you the Success Circle. There'll be a drop down, and underneath the application, there will actually be a drop down. We're still working on this, that says recorded calls. Okay, so all the calls will be recorded. They will be listed in both places, on the Facebook page and on the website under the Success Circle. And they will be posted, hopefully the latest, it'll be 6 p.m. on Monday evenings. So people will be able to listen to them that Monday evening if they work and they're not able to be on the live call. Okay, so this is a broad outline of the schedule. So we start next week on May 16th, Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And we're going to be going through introducing everyone into the basic things. And then we're really going to be focusing on the big picture, which is introducing people to the Builder Worksheet. We're going to introduce you guys, the leaders, to the Builder Worksheet today, and you're going to have a week to work with it so you feel comfortable mentoring your people through it. And the Builder Worksheet is really a container, right? It's meant to help get people with the big picture into getting realistic with their goals for the next month and the next 6 weeks about what they are saying they feel they want to be doing, and if it is really aligning with the hours and the amount of time that they can be putting into the business. So helping to really set up that that alignment.
And with that, we really want, especially our new builders, to be set up for success. So this is where you come in. We asked all of those questions to give information about where somebody is at. And so if somebody's realistic goal is to try to get to executive and they don't have a lot of time to work, then that's okay. We're going to have people going through this program that are going to have different goals, and we want the goals to be aligned with the individual. This is not a race against one another. That's not what this is about. This is just about everybody learning, growing, and moving at the pace that they are comfortable. So one, we do want people to get a little uncomfortable and push themselves a bit, but you also want to set up a realistic expectation so people can actually hit their goals. And this is where you're going to come in and really work with them and help them lay out their plan.
All right. So we move in then the following week, the 23rd, for setting up classes. We are going to do a tech splits that week. We're going to be taking people through that.
May 23rd.
Yeah, May 23rd. Okay. And we don't want you to tell people. So one of the points of the tech splits is that it's a blitz for them too. So
it's a surprise.
It's a surprise. So don't let them know that. And we're going to be reviewing and going over the fast track planner for actual use in the mentoring process, through the process for using that. The 30th, we will then move into inviting, hosting, and how to have a successful class. That'll be really the next week when hopefully the classes will really start rolling in. People will be starting to get into the meat of building. And June 6th, we'll be focusing on membership overview. We are going to have our special bonus call for the leaders on Tuesday, June 7th from 11 to 12. And this is when we're really going to bring in a lot of, as I should say here, awesome announcements. I'm saying it's like a little Christmas in June. So a lot of the work that we've been doing and compiling, and we're still bringing things together in terms of extra documents, aids for all of the builders and leaders, we're going to have it all ready by then for easy access for everyone to be using. So we have a lot of things we're rolling out and kind of creating that big picture again for building the business and feeling super confident about that process and taking people through that. So that's when we're kind of going to be, for the leaders of you guys, bringing all that we've been doing together and sort of taking a step back, looking at it and saying, right, this is how you're going to continue to duplicate working with basically what we've been working with your leaders from here on out. June 13th, we're going over what to do with new members. That'll be kind of a continuation. And then Aisha, do you want to talk about, we have this another bonus, and this time it's for the whole group, and it's going to be a webinar from, why don't you talk about Dana?
So we talked about this. My current business coach, her name is Dana Corey, and she has an awesome exercise that she does called Creating Change, and it's about mindset and about how really helping people work through their blocks to really create their bigger dreams. I will have this confirmed tomorrow, but we were going to do it at the very end of the program for everyone who completed, but we thought it might be a great exercise to bring in mid-course to kind of keep people moving forward. So we will announce the final date of that again by next week, but we're really excited about sharing that course with all of you.
All right, and I can't read the next two because we're in the way.
June 20th, we're looking at doing kind of business overview and teaching people how to go through that. And then on June 27th will really be a wrap up. And I do want to say that some of these weeks for us are still a little bit of a loose structure. We're still dialing in some of the content towards the end of the program. So we will kind of tighten this up, but we wanted to give you a general overview.
All right. So some of the things we want to introduce with the Success Circle, and you'll be getting the actual hard PDFs on that June 7th, is we've been working on mentoring guidelines, and that's what you guys are going to receive today. We have a new member card and a new enrollee checklist. The new member card and the new enrollee checklist, and we also have a 631 checklist. They are going to look like this. We are marketing and branding them, and they will be in PDF form in printout, and possibly people will be able to get them probably printed out themselves if they want, if people want hard prints and made into actual, not just virtual, but cards. And the idea of them is really breaking down. This has been things everyone's been saying they need to do themselves. And we wanted to just do this for everyone and finally have it done. And we've already changed around. This is just a picture of.
This is still a mock-up.
This is a mock-up, so we're already many generations forward.
A few errors and such on this one, so don't get attached to this one that you're seeing, but we just wanted to give you a general idea here.
But the idea is a card that lists boom, 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 boom. When you join our community, our Essential Wellness community, this team, here's all of the benefits and the gifts you are going to receive right off the bat. So this is a marketing tool to be able to have in your classes, and when you're sitting and talking with someone, be able to show them and list right away. You can bring it into your clothes even, all the things that they receive from being associated and a part of this team. Then we have the new enrollee checklist. That is for new people and for people who've been working a long time. You just don't want to have this all in your brain. What do you do when you enroll someone? Boom, 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 boom. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's what you do in order when you enroll someone. So you don't forget to help them to look to see to sign up for our newsletter or the e-cards or all the different things. So you don't have to think about that. You don't have to make your own list anymore. We're going to have it for you.
And the beautiful thing about these, and if you're not doing this already and teaching this, is that, not to toot our own horn here, but we have a lot that we offer our community that is not common in all teams. So it really sets us apart. And it's something that you should leverage as bonuses when people enroll with you, because everything that we do we do it to support your business and your success. And so we want you to feel connected to it, that you can claim it as something that is part of you and your business and what you have to offer. So I hope that you like what we're doing, you feel proud of what we're doing. Thank you, Ariana. And that you use it as, when you join our team, we have these awesome business training. We have an awesome team website. We have a monthly newsletter. We have team calls. We have all of this stuff going on to support people, whether they're a product user or a business builder. And you should talk about this when you're teaching your classes, when you're teaching your new people, and really, bringing them into awareness of all that we have going on. What we realize is there's a lot of people within our organization that still don't know we have a team website. They don't know that we have the 12
or a Facebook page,
or we have some leaders we just realized that weren't on the Facebook pages yet. So it's really your job to connect your people with this. Now, that doesn't mean that they all need to be on my product page, right? If you have your own product page, wherever you want to put them, but that you're tapping them into these resources and then tapping them into the larger resources of the team. So we're excited about that. Okay, so this is really where we're going to spend the majority of the time and really getting into the meat of this call. We have created, and Josie's going to, we both worked hard on this, on making some docs, and these are all in the Facebook page under the files section, so you can download them all.
They're already there.
They went up late last night, so they'd be ready for you. We have a coaching agreement that we came up with. We have notes and kind of guidelines for how to set up your weekly check-ins, a guideline on how to seek clarity for goal setting. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about how to do some Taproot mentoring with your team. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. We're really excited about this because all of our time is precious and valuable. And we want to make sure that when you are moving into a mentor relationship with a builder, that you have a clear understanding of expectations on both your part and their part, that you have some crucial conversations, and that you're setting everybody up for success. And so we wanted to create these guidelines, and you want opting in from both parties. So if you set this up from the beginning of your relationships, it's going to avoid those problems coming about, oh, well, I built under you and I thought you were building and now you don't want to build. And, oh, well, can I have your spot? I know we didn't have that conversation before, but we need to have it now. We want you to have that conversation from the get-go. If you're putting somebody on your top line and you're looking at them as a major business partner, we want you to have something where you review a contract with them that says, if this doesn't work out, if this relationship, isn't what we thought in 6 months, you're going to be okay giving this spot over so I can move on with my business. And we want you to have a clear understanding when somebody says, yeah, I want to be a diamond. Well, how much time do you have to work a week? Oh, I have an hour. We want you to have a vetting process, because obviously if they only have an hour to work a week and they want to be diamond, in a year, that's not really reality, right? So we want to give you some tools that if you get used to asking these questions of every single person that tells you they want to be a builder, it's going to help you place them. It's going to help you know who to spend time with and who to put energy into. And it's just going to give you so much valuable information so you can move forward and grow your business strategically and spend your valuable time with the people that are ultimately moving towards you and are showing up to build their business. So we hope this is helpful. So we're going to move on and going over this. So within this, I'll do this and then I'll hand it over.
Yeah.
We have a coaching questionnaire. We have a coaching agreement. We have the weekly call guidelines, and then we have an essential wellness business builder agreement form. Okay, so I'm going to have Josie kind of just do a quick review over these sheets so you have a better understanding. And then ultimately, again, please download them and read through them so you can begin to use them and implement them and share them.
Okay, so this would be the first document you send to someone if they've maybe been sharing, or they're initially showing interest in the business, and they're becoming a sharer builder into a builder, and they are saying they would like to actually work with you and be a builder. This is where you begin your initial vetting process into, is this someone who I am going to create a slot for in my weekly coaching time with, and do they meet the qualifications for me in terms of my time and my energy and my business? And because for all of us, there's only a certain amount of time that we have for those actual slots. So, and as you start to see, some of these are similar questions as to for this program, right, coming into it in terms of the application. So you could use these questions in many different ways, honestly. So this is just one way, but it could have broader application in terms of a vetting process. But starting to look into asking at first where someone is, what is their rank, how much money are they actually making currently with doTERRA, how much would they like to make? So it starts to get you an idea of what are they thinking about in terms of doTERRA monetarily and it working for them. And then you want to know how much training have they had? Have they received a business overview? Have they actually done, where are they in the training process? Have they gone to a boot camp? Have they taken our 4-week business training? Have you taken them through that? Do they have the EDGE materials? Have they actually gone out and bought them? And are they using them? Or if they're not, are they using what materials are they using if they're already starting to do classes? And where are they with the Fast Track Planner? Are in that process? Do they have one? Have they started to work with it? Are they implementing the 631? And then getting into, people probably have not been working so much with these rank builders, but after this program, we're really going to start to work with it. So have they started to work with that, the rank builder worksheet? Where are they in their bonus structure? So are they aware of, even if they're making money, are they aware where they are in terms of what they are making? Now we get into how many hours a week do they have? And then so you want to look into their mindset. This helps you get to sort of see when we ask, what's that big crazy goal? Like outside the box, not realistic, just what's that? How big of a thinking presently are they? And then let's get a little more within the box of, reality with the 1-year goal and the 6 month and the 90 days. And then we get into then goal setting. Why are these important to you? These goals, what will it cost you if you do not hit these goals? So these are the questions that go over in the prepare section. And what are your strengths in the business? What are your weaknesses? And additional comments. So that's the initial questionnaire. And so working with that, let's go on from there to, let's say they fill this out, you get a good sense of things, and there can be conversations in between. These next documents, the next two are, one's a guideline for you, and that's the weekly calls. So this document and then the business builder one, you could give them both to someone at the onset of the agreement, like in the first call before that, and sort of say, we're going to be going over this in the call. We're going to be talking about these things, and that would be your first coaching call. We know that life is not black and white, and no one and everyone's individual. So we could also see a circumstance where you start coaching with someone first and working with this coaching agreement. And that might be someone who is still a sharer builder, and they're not ready yet for something like the business builder agreement. So those could come separately. So you'll have to sort of see that flow for, it could be at different individuals in different circumstances. But let's start going over this coaching agreement. So this is really more about respect and personal respect, and people understanding that this is a business when you are entering into a coaching agreement. And you can call it mentoring, coaching, accountability, strategizing. There's lots of different things. You can change the title depending on the personality type. But the idea is for people to realize that your time is precious and their time is precious. And when you are entering into this agreement, that you're both going to respect each other and have really the boundaries about professionalism within this. And we're all in a growth process, and we understand that, but that's why to sort of come out with a written document and laying out the expectations about canceling, about that it's 30 minutes. We'll go into in the guidelines what we mean by stats, and that will come later. That you don't have to do that in the first few calls, because you'll be kind of guiding someone into that. I added, and I thought, should I go over this part? This part, which is, this might be a new relationship, or we may be longstanding friends and or family. In either case, this 30 minutes is our time for our doTERRA business conversation. We agree that if we desire to talk about wider topics, that we will schedule another call. Right? This is really important because doTERRA is a business among a lot of friends and a lot of women and friends and family. And so we understand that. And it can be really hard that's one of the things we hear so often is like, but we want to talk about this, and we get into drama, and we kind of go into the different things and all of the emotional aspects, and we also want to talk about our fun stuff. And what we really want to guide is that's great. That's just a different call. That's fine. We can still be ourselves, and we can still be friends and women, but this is like co-counseling. Okay. If you've ever heard of that concept. And so you're setting aside this time in that respect. So we feel like this will really help with expectations about what is going on. Let's go into, I'm going to go this last. I'm just going to go to so here is then the Essential Wellness Business Builder Agreement form. This is really one, you're considering someone definitely in an account transfer position, but anyone in a top line or a business builder position that is of importance, and you're trying to find out where they are. I mean, all different sorts of scenarios will come up, right, in terms of getting on the right step. And if you're and how lucky the people who are starting their businesses now, right, where they can start with all of these documents and this clarity, because we didn't have this. And when you don't have these things from the very get-go in place, then that's where things get messy and you don't have clarity, right? And we get into these situations that where you need crucial conversations where people aren't happy. So basically, this is asking a baseline for what we would define a builder as. And so a builder within Essential Wellness, what we've come up with as the definition is someone would agree to up their level of commitment with their LRP to 125 and do it by the 15th of the month. That they are spending a minimum of 5 hours a week, right? So there's all types of builders, and ranging from very, very part-time and minimal to replacing their income. But we've come to the minimum for someone as a builder should be 5 hours a week. And we say that we know that this is a unique business, and you're the CEO at the same time that you need to communicate with your upline. So that we're just asking basically for that going into the mentoring agreement, that you will enter into mentoring with an upline. We're stating that our team, we're using the EDGE system, and that so people are in agreement with that, and that they're willing to do the business trainings around that and work with that. And number 5 is probably, we really whittled this down to pretty lenient, but as a super baseline, saying that people need to understand that this business is built on giving essential oil presentations. So that we ask that a builder commits to teaching 2 to 4 classes or 8 to 12 one-on-one presentations a month. That's about that. That's the expectation of what a builder is in doTERRA. And then the last piece is we understand that life happens and circumstances can change. We ask that you communicate to keep our business going. If you decide you no longer want to build your doTERRA business and your upline has placed people under you, that you are willing to transfer your account to someone new. So there's a lot of circumstances in what that means that no longer want to build your business. People take time off, people have life emergencies, people have illnesses, there's deaths, there's a lot of things in people's lives where they need to take a sabbatical. That's different than deciding you no longer want to build, okay? We're not saying that, you have a month where you don't do 5, like, doing 2 to 4 classes and stuff. What we're saying is that you need to keep the communication of your business going with your upline. So when those life circumstances happen, that you're in communication and you come to agreement and an understanding. A lot of times uplines, it's a business. It takes a village, right? So sometimes we've seen it in all of our businesses where we will step in and kind of keep someone's business afloat for a while if they're in a family emergency. That happens, and that can be okay. That's not what we're talking about. So we're talking about if people are really not doing the business and not building. This is really just going through this conversation, right? It's clarity and having that conversation in the beginning. So you're setting up this expectation to someone who's beginning to build, where they understand that there is an out. And that if they start to not want to be doing these things, that you've had this conversation with them, and that there is a recourse, and that you can find someone else and do this business. Like if someone doesn't want to be building and doing it, it's okay. And that there's something we can do about it, and everyone can be satisfied and happy. So that's really the idea of coming up with this agreement form from the beginning. And that what we say is, it's not that we're saying to get people to sign the account transfer form and the involuntary termination form and for you to keep that on file. The idea is to have them have it and tell them to file it. And this would be the form, and kind of go over it with them and say, this is how we would do it. And that, you could have people sign it. Do we want to go?
Well, it's not actually legal.
It's not
by
legal.
doTERRA if they were to sign it. So we're not recommending that. We're just recommending if somebody wants to look at it prior so everybody is aware and on the same page. But yeah, if they signed it now, that could be contested. So we're not recommending that at the moment.
Yeah, it's more of this idea of clarity and that you've gone over these terms with people and that they understand that there is a process to go through and that you're asking if they stop wanting to be a builder, that they enter into that process with you. All right. So let's go. And then we can go into questions. This is the Essential Wellness Weekly Call Guideline. So on Tuesday the 7th, before I go over this, we are going to give more documents to accompany this that is going to go into more detail about different kinds of conversations, different questions, and some more assistance and help on mentoring and questions and how to do that. We didn't want to blow everyone out. We thought this was enough to begin with. So
can I just say something really quick?
Yeah.
A key, this is so important, and I know we say this a lot, but I'm going to say it again. The key to success in your mentorship or coaching, whatever you want to call it, is asking great questions. Yeah. It is not your job to solve everyone's problems. It is not your job to be a therapist. It is not your job to have all the answers. If you begin to spend your time asking questions and asking more questions and asking questions from those questions and asking Josie, what do you think the answer is? You know, what would happen for you if you don't reach that goal? You know, how can you rearrange your life so you can fit more classes in? So we're giving you these questions as a guideline. And like she said, we're going to actually bring in some more questions about how to have crucial conversations, how to work with challenging individuals. So to give you some scripts, it doesn't mean that every single call has to be this exact script. And really, you should just memorize these and start using them, because I promise you, if you do, it will strengthen your relationships. It will empower the people that you're working with, because if it comes from their mouth and they come up with the solution, they are more apt to take action than if you tell them what to do.
Yeah.
If you have coaching calls where you're telling your builders what to do and you get off the call and they do nothing and you're constantly getting frustrated with them, if you shift that and ask questions, I promise you that relationship will change for the better. So it's something we all can continue to practice and work on, but I've really begun to see things shift in my relationships as I become more aware of asking more questions. So here's a guideline on that.
Yes. And taking responsibility and accountability, this has been a real, amen. Diane says, yeah, this is a super challenge spot for me. And I'm really in the hot seat learning this, because that's not how I was trained. Even as a doctor, as a naturopath, we're trained to tell people, you know, to give advice, tell people what to do. So, and in my family, we're definitely trained.
And real quick,
to be controlling and tell people what to do.
Is that sometimes we feel like we tell people what to do because we want to be in service.
Yes.
And we want to be valuable to them. And we want to feel like we're offering them something. And it doesn't mean that there's not a place for some feedback and some you know, masterminding. You know, it's not that you just ask the questions, but if you can really begin to embrace this, again, I promise you will see shifts in your relationships and with what's happening with the people you're working with.
Yes. So we're all working on this, and it is a work in progress for all of us, and it's a challenge. So, but it's true, Aisha, the more that we can refrain from telling people what to do in our coaching calls and been asking them and having them, it's just like counseling, having them figure it out themselves with a little bit of holding space and nudging. Mm-hmm. So we're asking for accountability, though. So what we're asking for in these weekly calls is to give their stats beforehand, right? So the stats should be sent in to the coach the evening prior to the call, okay? So that's that idea, because you want a little bit of time to be able to go over those before you have your call as the coach. Now, what you're asking people to do is to send in a photo. That's just with whatever everyone has a phone. Most people should have a phone these days where they can take a quick picture and text it or email to you. That's all you're asking for of your Fast Track Planner. Now, you don't have to do that until you've gone over the Fast Track Planner and people are actually using it, but that's the whole idea of the quickness of being able to look at a glance at the Fast Track Planner, and you'll be able to tell very quickly about classes, how many classes people are having, their enrollments, their membership overviews, business overviews. That's all contained very easily in that information. So there you go. They should be doing that. And then you can see I have down here where I say for a win, a challenge, and an action step. These can be a word, like an outline. Someone could text you 3 words, boom, 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 at the very least, if they just are that. Or it can be a write-up. I receive a lot of actual fairly lengthy write-ups from my the people that I coach and mentor with, because whatever's most helpful for the process of the wellness advocate, okay? And so for them, it's helpful to write down and keep track every week. It's kind of like what's been going on. But at the very least, if you want to be knowing that they're filling out their Fast Track Planner and they're at least thinking about the coming call. And this is also their check-in with you that they're going to be coming to the call. Now, the numbers will be added as the Wellness Advocate advances. You don't start off with this. I do this with the people that I mentor with, is when I say the numbers, what this means is they either state the rank that they're working for that month, the rank goal, and let's say it's silver, right? The qualifying legs OV for that rank. So for silver, you're going to have 3 elite legs that you're working towards. So those 3 qualifying legs, you'd list the overall volume for each of those legs, and you'd say silver and those 3 people's names and their volume at the moment, at the very least, the numbers. If you're working with the builder worksheet, you would basically be bringing that to the call and going over that, or there's a rank tracker, which we will go over later. So that's the stats that you're asking people. Can be very simple once you really get what you're asking people to do for your mentoring calls, for their accountability. Here's the questions that's kind of the baseline that we are going to be working with in every. Notice it's 3 to 5, so there's more than these. So it's not like you're going to work with all of these questions every call. But what are your wins? What have been your challenges? You're going to look and review their 631 or their Fast Track Planner, right? So that's pretty much how many classes have they had? What have their enrollments been? How many LRPs, membership overviews, business overviews were accomplished that week? That's all that information in when we say their 631 or their Fast Track Planner. Is there an action step that you've committed that you did not get completed? Is there an action step that you have had a challenge with? And then I know we have 2 other questions.
We can't see them.
And we can't see them.
Sorry. They're blocked.
I have it up here. So, yeah. So it is, yeah. Is there an action step that you had a challenge with? And what action steps are you committed to doing the coming week? Is there anything else you want to tell me about your week? This is a basic idea of what we're looking for in a 30-minute coaching call to be discussed. Okay?
Okay, so we hope this is helpful for you all. And we have a couple more things to go over, and I want to have time for questions, so we're going to move on from this. Okay, the next thing we want to talk about is Taproot mentoring. I know we talk about this in the EDGE training. I'm not sure how many of you have been practicing this, because I know it's not how a lot of us have been mentoring or have been mentored, but I really recommend giving it a try. It's really effective and it's actually quite powerful, and that the sessions that I've been doing with it have been really, really great. So say you have 3 people within an organization that are in this program. And again, this is beyond the program, but just for your coaching in general. And let's say we have a brand new person, we have, someone who's been going for a little while, and we have, somebody who's in a lead or a premier and is working up towards silver. We recommend that you get them all on the phone at the same time We recommend 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many are on the call, and then dividing the talking and the coaching time up between however many you have on the call. So you have, an average of 15 to 20 minutes per person, again, depending. And then you would start with the lowest, the person, the lowest rank on the call would be coached first. And in the beginning, as the leader, you can go through these questions and you can have the conversation with that person while the other two leaders are listening. So what you're doing is you are modeling for them how to be an effective mentor. It doesn't mean you're going to always be doing this, but you're the one modeling, you're setting the tone, you're asking the questions, you're setting up their accountability for the following week. If you need to have a little masterminding about where they're getting stuck, you're giving them some guidance. And then when that person's done, you have them hang up, and then you go to the next person. And then you spend a few moments asking, what did you learn from that session? We don't have these questions here, but have a few moments to talk about what they gained. And if that person needs support, you can say, Shelley, are you able to show up at her class and help her with that? Or can you guide her towards those tools? You empower things to help strengthen that relationship, right? So then you guys talk about that. And then you would go through that same list of questions with that second person. And then you would have them get off the call. And then you have your lead or your premier or the person that's a higher rank. You would talk about a little bit how it went with those two people. And then you would ask them those questions, right? So you kind of work all the way up. And then as in time you go that, you then say, whoever that elite is, okay, I want you to lead this call. And I want you to guide it. And I'm going to listen. I'll be here for support if you need it. But I want you to guide the call. And then you can have them, again, start with the bottom person, work their way up until everybody's also getting a little bit of practice and then also feedback. So in this program, if you have a lot of people in it and we're asking them to have somebody they're mentoring with, and if you have a lot of new people, then we don't want you on 20 different calls. That's not going to be time efficient or effective for you. So be really strategic. And we recommend, in your own time blocking, if you can set up your team calls in the same afternoon or back to back or however you need to do it. So you're not doing it all week long, and get the appropriate groups of people on the phone at the same time. Now, Zoom is a wonderful way to use it because you can see one another. It can be more interactive. Again, this is a way for you to build connection and relationships. You can get a Zoom account for free, but you can then, I think, only talk for 40 minutes. Otherwise, it's not very expensive. So again, we hope that you'll start kind of playing around with this and working with this. Okay, this is really exciting. Okay, so we've all experienced people saying, I want to be silver. 6 months, a year goes by, they're maybe an elite. And they don't know why they're still an elite, right?
Or they made silver once and they haven't been able to make it again, and they're like a strong elite pushing towards premier for a year.
So if you don't have a roadmap to where you're going, you're not going to know how to get there. Most people don't really know what it means to be a silver. Like, what does that mean? How many classes do I need to teach? How many people need to be enrolled? How much volume do I need to have? We want people to start having a crystal clear understanding of that from the beginning. So if you have a new builder that say, let's make your first goal elite, and you start learning how to use these tracker sheets, then you can use this every single month when you're mentoring with them, and you have them filling it out so they can start to learn how to use their back office, how to look at the numbers, how to strategize, and how to fill out and figure out, what do my action steps need to be for the month? How many classes do I need to have? How many presentations do I need to give? How many people do I need to enroll to hit my goal? So we want to introduce this to you now because we want you to have the week to do this for your own business, for you to fill out the sheet, for you to familiarize yourself with it. And so you know how to guide your members with it. And again, so there's no confusion, so you're really clear, so you feel empowered. So this worksheet, there is one for Elite, Premier, and Silver. So if you, for instance, for yourself, are working on going to Gold or Platinum, say you're trying to hit Platinum, then you just need to fill out 3 Silver worksheets, one for each leg. Does that make sense?
Gold would be 3 Premier worksheets.
Yeah. So we only have these 3. So go and download. I download all of the sheets from the Facebook page. We then have an awesome 20-minute webinar.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's very clear, and it's going to show you exactly how to get in your back office, how to get the appropriate numbers, how to fill out the sheet, and how to make the calculations. So for some of you, this is easy, but we recommend having Pluto has something
you guys have
here.
to watch it's so good, the webinar, because we learned something about the back office and getting information of people's OV that neither Aisha and I knew. And we're not going to tell you what it is. You have to watch it.
Yeah. So watch the webinar, and then we're going to have your new builders watch the webinar as well. And then it's going to be there as a resource. So
it's 20 minutes.
It's 20 minutes. Yeah. So it's super quick. It's very clear. It's very concise. Fill this out this week. And then we are going to introduce this in the first week with our builders, because this is going to set up their roadmap for what they want to be shooting for. So we want them to be, like, if their goal is Elite, we want them to be clear how much more volume do they need to hit Elite. And they have 6 weeks. So then when we do the tech splits, they know that they'll have a goal of wanting to book X amount of classes. Mm-hmm. They need X amount of enrollments. They need to be doing X amount of activity a week. And then that's going to really help you, again, with that accountability. How were your classes? How many people did you get enrolled? Okay, we got a little bit behind, so let's beef it up for next week. Or, this is going to give you a guidepost that you can keep tracking to help keep people on their course. So we're super excited about all of us beginning to use this to really help keep people on track.
So I'm going to because this was a little confusing for me. So what you guys are going to do is,
we're at 12 o'clock.
Okay. You're going to use your numbers from last month, from April, while you're filling out this week for yourselves. You're filling out your tracker forms. Okay. And so next week, when we start with everyone, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to have them first use their old numbers from April to just get used to the tracker and get their ideas. And then the following week, the 23rd, we're going to then do the numbers from May for June. We're forecasting forward for June. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to do it 2 weeks in a row with the people in the program.
Okay, so we're at noon. I want to acknowledge that for everybody's time. We will stay on the line for a few more moments because I haven't been paying attention to the chat bar. I want to see if there's any last minute questions. So if you have to hop off, we understand, but we will hang out for a few more minutes. And I'm going to stop my screen share so I can better navigate everything here. Give me just a second. And let me see if why don't you take a look at those questions? Oh, okay. If you can read those. So are there any, we unmute everyone? No, let's not, well, only as they
people
speak.
Can unmute themselves.
Yeah, so if you have a question, there at the bottom in the left-hand corner of your screen is an unmute box. Hold on here, I'll go here. And I'll have Josie look at the questions really quick. So if you have another question, hop on and ask. We want to, again, make sure everything's clear.
Why don't you start asking questions?
Oh, so I unmute? I can go second.
Hi. No, go ahead. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Okay. Hi, guys. My question is with the builder agreement form. Will you guys be going over that, or is that our responsibility to do before next week?
This is your responsibility. We are not
Okay.
going over these forms with the new people.
Okay.
This is something that you can begin to integrate into your business as you are moving forward. Because when we start with a larger group, we're really going to be speaking to brand new people that are just getting going. So we don't want to start throwing a bunch of documents and contracts.
Oh, right.
This is where we want you to have more one-on-one conversations with them and teach this in your business moving forward. And this is really beyond just this program, right? Like we're introducing it, but it's an opportunity to teach it, practice it, and begin to implement it and moving forward.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yay. I guess if there's remaining questions, people should just ask, because we I don't think we can. Hey, Megan.
Hi. I'm hoping this is a good question for now, but when you were talking about the forms for establishing guidelines for if somebody didn't want to do the business and giving up their spot, I have several people that are in that position, but they've had those accounts for years now. Do you recommend bringing that to them now? Or, I mean, that's what I'm thinking of, like, I have some appointments already because they've been there for so long.
Well, it really depends. If somebody's sitting there and you're not in active relationship with them, that's a different conversation. If you are in an active coaching agreement with anybody in your organization, it's okay to say, I'd like to bring in some new tools for learning and to really help us in moving forward strategically in our business. And we have, this awesome new mentor contract. This is going to help you learn and how to mentor other people as well. And I would like to bring these agreements into our relationship, just kind of as a reset. Now, if you have somebody that's been sitting there and you're not in that kind of relationship and you're not working with them one-on-one, you can't just show up with some contract and say, hey, I have a contract now, and I know I never talked to you about this, but will you sign this and give up your spot? That's a different kind of conversation. Does that make sense? Am I answering your question?
Yeah.
And we can talk about this later, but I mean, it's been on and off for years that we've been having this conversation. Sure. And so I just like the clarity of what
is to avoid that kind of thing from happening.
Exactly.
Hello. Yes.
I mean, the one suggestion, and we'll move on, I could say in these kind of situations, and you have to be, gray and how you work with it, but you could then bring it forward and say, just to let you know, this is how we are currently,
that's what I was thinking.
This is what our organization is now doing. Just like this is the norm. We didn't have guidelines before, but this is kind of how, So that could be a way that you could use it.
I see a question from April. The webinar is posted. Thank you for asking that question. So in the files section of the Facebook page, and it says Business Builder Webinar. You'll click on that doc, and there is a link there, and that is where it will live. We'll keep it there.
For doing the builder worksheets.
For doing the builder worksheet
webinar.
So again, please watch it as soon as possible. It's really short, and get your builder worksheets and start filling them out for your own business. Okay. Any other questions? Are you guys feeling excited about this? Hopefully not overwhelmed. I know it's a lot of information, but we're really hoping that it's going to streamline everybody's business. I do want to take note that on the top of our page, we have Essential Wellness there. If you have your own team name, you're welcome to copy and paste that doc. And, if you want to do something to make it more your own, whatever we put out is available for you guys to make your own and do what you want with it. So, don't feel shy to do that if you have a different team name or you want something, your own name printed at the top or whatever. And let me see if there's any other questions. So, another thing is that I'm, shortly after this call, we're going to start letting people into the Facebook group. The welcome letters they've been sent out today for everyone who's in the program.
At 11, they're out.
And we have a beautiful meme that is asking them to introduce themselves, to share where they're from, and to share their favorite essential oil. What we ask from you is that you do a lot of rah-rah and welcome. People love to be recognized. When you have someone on your team put a post during this program, it is your job to give them a congratulations, give them an acknowledgement. That is huge. If you are participating in this program, I want to see your participation on that Facebook page. It's, for everybody, but spend some time acknowledging, congratulating. That goes a long way for people to feel like they've been noticed, and that they're welcome and that they're part of our community. And so we're going to have one long welcome thread. It's not going to be every single person, but I'm going to put that meme up before I introduce people into the group. And then let's keep all the comments under that meme. Okay. So we just have like a big celebration welcoming everybody into the program. Now, our first call with them, and because of the technology, I think we might have to go into webinar form, and we'll wrap this up in just a moment. I'm so sorry we're over time. I'm going to be talking to the Zoom rep, and he's going to help me get all squared away. But we might have to do a Zoom webinar opposed to call so we can get everybody into the system. So we're working that out, but we'll have the information on the Facebook page. So we'll be communicating about all of that. If you have people new to Zoom, please recommend that people, if they can, to get on the video, because we are going to have PowerPoints and visuals, and it's going to be much more powerful than if they just call in and listen. Not everyone can do everything, but they will also be recorded so they can go and watch them later. Okay, so any last minute questions, comments? Let's see. Let's see. The Builder worksheets will something you'll be posting. Yes, I will be posting the Builder worksheets. So they do live on our Essential Wellness Pathway to Success business training page as well. This is definitely something that's available to everybody, but we thought this would be a good time to start teaching and implementing these skills.
A lot of the stuff that we're rolling it out through this program, and then we'll be implementing it in some of the, the documents and things into the business training and on the business website after the program. But you guys get it first.
Yes, totally. Okay, anything else, everyone? Thank you guys so much. We are so excited. We love you. We want to see you all walking across the stage as your next rank at convention. So let's make that happen, okay? You guys in?
Thank you so much.
Yay. Awesome.
Love you.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
And I'll post this recording soon for anybody that needs to review it or share it with another builder. Okay, you guys, we'll see you on Facebook. Bye.
Bye.